So, as the title is told us, Lyme disease is on the rise. Are you prepared? But what is the evidence? And why Lyme disease now and not before? I think we are all pretty convinced that this is a reasonably new development that probably started somewhere in the middle of the last century. And it has taken 50 years for an epidemic to develop. I think the reasons, and I'm not going to give you what are the reasons, because A, nobody knows what the reasons are. B, we all have our own pet reasons as to why this is. If you later ask me what I think is maybe one of the reasons, I might answer you in the context of a very personal opinion, but not because I know any more than anybody else. So don't hold, I mean, hold on, don't hold on to your seat, because I'm not going to tell you why this happened. But here's the evidence, and I think the evidence is overpowering. And you don't need to look very much into the details of this graph. This is Lyme disease in New York State from 1986 to 2005 by zip code. I mean, this is really dyed-in-the-wool epidemiology, with zip code populations being the denominators. If you look here, which is 1984, we see black in Long Island and some black in Westchester County. And as we go along through the years, Long Island remains pretty much the same, usually the black in Long Island. And we see a huge darkening of the lower Hudson Valley. And you can see this, and some of you, I know here that there's people from Dutchess County, which is around the city of Poughkeepsie and Paulding and a number of very nice places up there to visit, that they are the mecca of Lyme disease today. We continue to have a lot of Lyme disease in Suffolk County, but we haven't changed that much. But look at what has happened in the Hudson Valley. And what we're hoping is that it's going to get clear across Albany, and that it's going to get into the legislature, and it's going to shake up some dollars. But aside from that, you can't argue with this. This is a disease that's on the move. And if you want to be more analytical than just having pictures, if you look at the Lyme disease incidence, this is data coming from the State Health Department. These are the county. This is the Hudson River, Suffolk, Nassau, west of the Hudson, east of the Hudson. The first number is incidence per 100,000 in 1990. The second is incidence per 100,000 in 2012. So you can see that these are dramatically change. And what these numbers are telling us, and why is ours lower? It's not because we have any less cases. It's simply because all of these numbers take into consideration the denominator. The denominator is the population of the county. We have a huge population here in Suffolk County, so our numbers, our incidents are never going to look that high. Of course, if we look at patients or numbers of patients, yes, then we would. However, this is what it looked like in Suffolk County in the last, 5 years. And we don't, they're always behind in the last year numbers, and even 2013 may not be complete. The numbers of cases that are counted by the State Health Department may not be complete here. But you can see that this is a real increase, and then this may very well be a real increase. And from the inquiries that we had last year, I would say 2014 will be up there as well. So yes, there is an increase in these diseases, and I don't know why. But then again, I don't know that anybody else does. And lastly, I just want to give some credit. We have been working in this disease since probably 1978, 76. This is the Stony Brook history with Lyme disease. These are the early days. The work identifying the organism with Willy Bergdorfer, my mentor at Rocky Mountain Lab. He just died a few months ago. Appeared in Science in 1982. Our own on isolating the organisms from the patients and actually proving Koch's postulates that this is actually what is causing the Lyme disease. Then they said Bosler from my laboratory that discovered that the Peromyscus mouse was the actual reservoir. This was published in Science in '84. Barry Lisman, a veterinarian, a local veterinarian in Suffolk County. He's not in academics, he's just a veterinarian with a practice, and with a high set of skills and a great deal of interest, actually defined the entire spectrum of canine Lyme disease, or veterinary Lyme disease. And this was published, Journal American Veterinary Medical Association. Then came Ray Detweiler along in Lancet in 1988, who actually treated patients with second-generation cephalosporin, ceftriaxone in particular, and remains to this day one of the mainstays of Lyme disease treatment. And then Mark Golightly in a university hospital here, publishing in the American Journal of Clinical Pathology, the very first objective study on the serology of Lyme disease. We didn't stop there in '89. We have continued working on this, but these were the early papers. These was what really got us started. And those of you that are alumni of Stony Brook, I think this is a great story for our university. I should also point out that in the last few years that I have been chair of the department and director of the Center for Infectious Diseases, I have relied heavily on my colleagues. David happens to be one of them, probably the most important one of them all. And all of the people have come through my lab, and there's probably now 30 or so that have gone on to work with Lyme disease or something else. They really carried the burden. So with that, I think I would like to stop now and thank you all for your attention and see if I have any questions.